Hello, welcome to the after-market analysis session of Indian markets Nifty and Bank Nifty, just like every day. This is about the after-market analysis of Indian markets Nifty and Bank Nifty. Here we look at where the buyer's interest was and where the seller's interest was. We try to read the order and footprint very well. We try to read the footprint within almost every candle. If you are new and want to learn footprint analysis and want to learn how to use GoCharting effectively, you can join our live webinars. The link for the live webinar is uploaded every evening at 5 o'clock on GoCharting's Discord, and Telegram community before 5 in the evening. Additionally, if you are using GoCharting at that particular time, you will also receive a notification in the top right corner here. You can also join the webinar from here. That means in case you are unable to join the live webinar. So the recording of this webinar is available on all GoCharting YouTube channels. Links to all YouTube channels are provided in the description, and links to the community are also given in the description. Okay. So before reading the footprint, let's look at some levels of the volume profile to see how the volume profile provided us with confirmations yesterday. Okay. And what those confirmations were like. This was yesterday's resistance zone. We had marked it. And in case the volume node breaks, then there was this level which we had marked. And this was the volume node from the day before that. These were three basic levels from the last 3 to 4 days. And on the upper side, we had this zone, which was from the past few sessions. So this is a simple confirmation of the volume profile, meaning we had taken confirmation from the volume profile of the last 4 to 5 days. Now here we look at how the interest is on these levels of the footprint today, where buyers came in, where sellers came in, and how to observe the activity of those buyers and sellers based on these levels. Okay. So before reading the footprint properly, you should know what delta is, because with the help of delta, we are going to read the footprint here. Now, what is delta? In simple language, delta tells us the difference between buyers and sellers. For example, this is the first candle. If we look at the delta of this candle, which delta is it? The topmost value is okay. Now what is its value? Near 1 lakh means add 3 zeros. So it's approximately around 193,000. The delta value of this candle is currently inside the green box, and there is no negative sign in front of this value. So that means this is a positive delta. And a positive delta always denotes buyers. Now, where is this positive delta value derived from? On the right side of the footprint, there are buyers, and on the left side, we have sellers. Okay, so we add up the buyers on the right side. Let's assume a round figure. Its value comes to 2,03,000. On the left side of the footprint, we have sellers, and let's assume its value is 1 lakh. Okay, so what is the difference between these two? 1,03,000, and who is more in the difference? There are more buyers. So it means, what is the value of the delta of this candle? The value of the positive delta, and there are more buyers. So it is inside a green box. And we will call it a positive delta. Now let's take the next few candles, like this candle. What is the value of the delta of this candle? 35,000. And what is the value? It has a negative sign and is inside a red box. So that means it is a negative delta. Okay, in this candle, there are more sellers compared to buyers. Seller. In negative delta directly means sellers. Positive delta directly means buyers, like in this candle. There are more sellers. How many more were there? 5,000. In this candle, there are more buyers. How many more? Near 1 lakh, understood. Very simple. Now the essence of each candle is coming out to us, like for any candle. If we talk about this candle, okay? If we want to find out who is more powerful inside this candle, buyer or seller, by looking at the delta, we can tell in a minute. Sellers are powerful in this candle. By looking, you can tell who is more powerful. Simply by looking at the delta, heavy delta, means buyers are more powerful. You will also find many candles whose color will be red, but the delta will be positive, meaning there is nothing related to selling inside those candles. Even if the candle has formed red, the order flow provides a general understanding. What it shows is that there is no selling activity at all, and many candles form within it. Every day, a new candle appears whose color is green, but the delta comes out negative. So don't be confused. Order flow is what provides us with real knowledge. Okay? Now, you are seeing two types of delta. Look at this. Around 100,000 again, around 100,000 again, 35,000, 45,000. See these heavy values and look at this value, only 3,000, only 4,000, only 8,000, only 7,000. It means there are some candles whose delta is very heavy, like 100,000, 135,000, 45,000, 75,000, 67,000. Okay? And there are some candles whose delta is very low. So, in the candles with very heavy data, there has been significant buying and selling, and in the candles with very low delta, there has been very little buying and selling. So, on the days when the candle's delta is very heavy, there is heavy buying and heavy selling within those candles, and where there is heavy buying and heavy selling, it is precisely within those candles that the potential exists to clearly indicate the market's direction to us. And in the candles with low buying and selling, they do not have enough potential to move the market exactly in any direction. So what we will do here is we will keep it simple and pick only those candles that have a heavy delta. And we can skip all the other candles. Now, how will we proceed? The delta of the first candle is always heavy, so trade it very carefully. Often, there is a lot of volume within this candle, and many times the market does not move in the direction of the volume. Okay, so now, how will we read the footprint of the candle? First, we will look at the delta. If the delta value is heavy, yes, if the delta value is heavy, then we will jump to the footprint. What did the delta indicate? That there are more buyers inside this candle. On the footprint, the buyers are on the right side. So when there are more buyers, we will only read the buyer's side. Okay? Now, when we go to the buyer's side, we will look at the place where the most buying activity has occurred. We saw the delta indicating more buyers, then switched to the buyer's side. Now, which particular place has the most buying activity? This is the buying activity at 55, 60, and 45. Look at this. If we rate the entire footprint, it's just 10,000, then 15,000, 24,000. And look at this, 55,000 buying, 66,000 buying, and 45,000 buying. This is the place where the most buying has occurred. Okay, now let's look at the next candle. In the next candle, again, there was massive buying. Here again, it's on the buyer's side. So this is the particular place where the most buying has occurred. This is the place where the most buying has happened. So which are the buying zones of the first candle? These ones. And which are the buying zones of the second candle? These ones. Okay. Now the next candle, meaning we can consider the main support as the first candle itself, because the buying activity started from here and the buyers went up to here. Now looking at the pullback, a negative delta was observed, quite a significant negative delta. There was selling of 42,000 here and 67,000, meaning 2 points where selling occurred. Okay, whenever that something sort appears like bullish and during the pullback we see sellers. So what does order flow suggest? It suggests that you wait for a moment, meaning the concept suggests that you wait until these sellers calm down. Then you can plan a bit bullishly, because during a pullback, whenever there is a police zone, if sellers come in, they will break the zone. And then the zone has no significance. All right, sellers came in during this candle. And in the next candle, what happened was that this zone, the bullish zone, got broken. Look here, it got easily broken. A positive delta was observed, but the zone got broken. No problem. If we go according to the delta again, then 1 or 2 more candles should be positioned. Here, buying was observed in the first 2 candles. Selling occurred in 1 candle, okay? And the zone created by the police was broken by the first 2 candles. Here, in the next candle, it broke well. This means that what happened here is that the buying that occurred within the first 2 candles during the pullback, the zone created by the police could not hold and was broken. Now look at this. In this candle as well, with significant selling, see, both candles have a negative delta. These 2 candles themselves broke the bullish zone. In this candle, there wasn't as much selling, but here, there was a lot of selling. See, okay, then, in the next candle as well, there was a lot of selling. The support zone was broken, and the previous day's resistance zone was also broken. And then the bullish zone was also broken. Now what's left here? Now here we can do this. The buying delta that we saw in the morning, we saw buyers. Now this zone is broken. So what does it mean? That whatever buying happened here was absorbed. Now this zone can act as a resistance. Just look at this. This became the zone. Buyers came, but they failed to take the price higher. How did they fail? The price came down easily with selling. So what does it mean? That all these buying attempts here were absorbed. Now this absorption zone can act as a resistance, and why it can work as well, because buying was absorbed. And here sellers entered significantly, giving a solid confirmation. It came on a pullback with a buying attempt, but still, see, a big red candle was formed. Not much selling happened. And this candle also formed a big green one, but there wasn't as much buying. Today, compare and see, there's a delta of 75,000, 67,000 delta. Here sellers are in abundance. Okay, and if you look at its selling zone, there's nothing much, just 24,000, 31,000, and here see 54,000, 54,000 right now. These selling zones hold more significance. A position candle formed on the pullback, within which all the buying activity disappeared. Okay, look here. There was selling during the pullback time, but the next candle broke the buying zone. Here there has been some light buying. During the pullback, the next candle became a position candle, and the resistance was respected. This is the difference between the two. In breaking resistance, here the support was broken. Okay, there was a pullback, and a slight downside movement was observed, and after that, Nifty remained sideways the entire day. If I say for the whole day, Nifty was only in this zone, which is within 50 points, from 407 to 482. It stayed within 60 points. What was the good thing? The movements that came were only from this moment, and after that, if it came back around this zone, near this resistance, then again it could have touched today's lows somewhere, but it didn't even come this far. It kept hovering right here. throughout the day. There was light selling on the downside. Look at the red delta, check it out. There was selling here, but nowhere did aggressive buyers enter. So we can't say that aggressive buyers have come in yet. They can still move the price forward up to the point where selling came in again and again. We didn't see much from the buyer's side anywhere. And then the entire side was sent. This was the movement. Okay, even in this movement, what confirmation did the order flow give us? We saw a buying absorption, sellers entered, a pullback occurred, and a downside movement. After this, if you are an option seller, then it's a good day for you. Okay, but still we observe which candles are heavy. There was a delta. Like look at this, the delta of 35, the delta of 40. These are the selling zones. Selling absorption occurred, a slight upside movement also came, but the second time it closed at the same place, yet there is no significant movement. A movement of 30 to 35 points. Here too, some confirmation is seen that selling came. But this selling zone did not break to the downside, rather to the upside. Old side movement. So this was today's Nifty, which was quite sideways. Now let's quickly look at Bank Nifty. The same thing happened in Bank Nifty today, but it occurred with quite heavy volume in Bank Nifty, okay? Look, it broke to the downside. A significant pullback occurred at the time of the seller's center pullback. There was nothing to say here. And a downside movement was observed, along with substantial selling during the downside movement. Look, this was even more sideways, but still, the movement it gave was expected. How was it expected? Look at this, a positive delta of 55 again. This is from the buying zone of 24 to 22. Okay, during the pullback, it again easily gave a closing. With each pullback candle, it kept giving a closing below. Selling came in, good selling came in, a pullback came, another pullback came, and a downside movement. Okay, this was today's analysis of Nifty and Bank Nifty. If you have any questions, please unmute and ask.